There we go, first one in the series. Why is Snow White still a classic? My cousins, they probably had it and then I watched it somehow, like when you're young.
Originally, it's a German fairy tale written by the Brothers Grimm in 1812. There was a film version in 1916. The Disney one is by far the most iconic version.
You'll always remember Snow White regardless. See, you can tell this is back in the day because they're no one narrating it. They actually expect you to read the prologue.
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
This scene has just become so infamous. So many films have copied it.
Fairer than thee.
Libby.
Blush for her. Reveal her name.
Lips red as the rose.
Look at him stalling. Get on with it.
As ebony. Skin white as snow.
Snow White.
And she wants to kill her just because she's more beautiful. That is such a woman thing, really. Snow White's voice is just the epitome of innocence, as it is. I guess that's the whole thing about Snow White. She's innocent. If you have white skin and red lips, that is what it's sending to young children. Yeah, it's funny when you watch this stuff. When you get older, then you're like, I'm not so sure about that.
Here's a question. If Snow White is a princess, why is she in rags doing maid's work? This isn't Cinderella. But maybe the Queen has her doing that kind of work. I don't know. You never know. First animated feature film in colour.
What is the most interesting thing you're doing in the studio now?
Well, at the present time, we're making a feature-length cartoon.
A feature-length cartoon?
Hollywood thought this film would fail, but it turned out to be a big hit. The Walt Disney Studio was built on this movie. This film, it started the classic Disney trademarks, or the classic Disney formula, which is to take something from a fairy tale that's proved to be popular with the public, often stories involving magic or fantasy, remixing it with music and lots of gags and humour, lots of theatrical and musical elements, and they always have a good versus evil, pure of heart usually versus the extremely evil. That was the Disney formula, at least back then, or at least that's what they thought. Alright, Snow White has done well, let's continue on the same path. There's lots of myths that we can bring to life in a magical way. This is the start of that trend. There's some interesting things I didn't know about before watching it again and then just reading different things. Snow White, she's only 14 years old, which is disturbing. One of Hitler's favourite movies, and another movie of his was King Kong that he liked. But I can understand why he would like Snow White, because it's like white supremacy kind of thing, and yeah, I can pair it together, like it sends some kind of message. It's interesting to know. There's many more things, but this isn't that kind of video. Another great thing that they've done in this movie is it capitalizes on every moment to make it spectacular or extraordinary by adding humor, animation, music, or the expressions of a character's face. Yeah, they're just really good at putting animation gags. They multiply it by 500% just by adding extra animation. If it was a normal film, you wouldn't get those gags in there. Yeah, there's just so many. I won't be able to point them all out, but you'll see there's so many little gags in there. Apparently Disney was offering bonuses if you pitched a gag that ended up in the movie. He'd give you I think $5 or something like that, $5 extra or something. Not much, but still.
Wait, please.
Wait, please. Look at him trying to woo Snow White. Look at the camera pan. Oh, the evil queen. She's upset.
If you look at the expression on the evil queen's face, it's a mix of sadness and jealousy and anger, and the way the animators incorporated all that into one very quick shot is really good. It goes to the testament that they really pulled out the stops for this movie.
They was good at the music from the start, Disney.
They always have a classical approach.
Yeah, look at her, she's blushing. Looks like he's got lipstick on.
Take her far into the forest.
It's the beginning of conspiracy.
You will kill her.
But your majesty.
But your majesty, the voices in this.
Silence!
She sounds like her old grandmother, isn't it? Look at her eyes widen as well.
If you fail, bring back her heart in this.
The most evil thing I think anyone's come up with. He's a murderer! Look at the evil in his eyes. Evil rage in his eyes.
I can't do it.
Oh, he has a conscience. Oh.
I beg you, forgive me.
I don't understand.
She's mad, jealous of you. She'll stop at nothing. Run! Run away! Hide! in the woods, anywhere.
That's a messed up family if your stepmother is trying to kill you. And even the forest is trying to get her, trying to drag her down. Despicable. Some good animation though.
I was just reading some trivia that it said that forest scene, children was wetting themselves in the cinema.
And the trees, they turn to crocodiles.
For kids films as well, there's something about being scared that grabs you.
I suppose it must have all started when I was in my mother's arms at the age of 6 months. And she said to me, "Boo."
If you're scared or something makes you laugh, those are the strong emotions that stick with you after the movie's over.
Disney are so good at this. They're so good at incorporating animals into their thing. Cute as well. Well, when they need to be, I feel.
Oh, don't cry, Snow White, it'll be okay.
There's a funny bit in Enchanted. I don't know if you've seen it, but they take the mick out of this a little bit. That shot is a classic shot of Snow White. I think I saw it in all the trailers.
Maybe you know where I can stay. In the woods somewhere?
Imagine you just went into a forest and birds and that were helping you. It's like, oh, I can't find my way. So she's just gonna crash into someone's house who she doesn't know.
Ooh, it's dark inside.
Because they're not homies. That's why it's dark inside Snow White.
Why, there's 7 little chairs. Must be 7 little children.
Libby, it's the house of the 7 dwarfs. How's she gonna violate man like that?
It's covered with dust.
Look at her coming into the house and judging them.
What a pile of dirty dishes.
And what does it say? What, that men can't do their own dishes? That they can't clean up after themselves? There they go with the cute animals again. Wow.
We'll clean the house and surprise them. Then maybe they'll let me stay.
She's so idealistic, isn't she? Just like, oh, everyone's lovely in this world.
Oh, shut up, Snow White.
Just whistle while you work.
Whistle while you work. There's a funny Dave Chappelle bit about whistling.
You guys might whistle when you work. You dig? But that's how you can tell what kind of work we're actually doing.
Not under the rug.
All the animals getting corrected by Snow White. They just want to take the easy way out. Look, that rat is going nuts. And all the animals are doing all the heavy lifting for her. What is Snow White doing? She's just like...
Put them in the tub.
They ravaged someone's garden. Poor little deer taking all the strain of the clothes. I have to give it to them. The teamwork is phenomenal. It's more like Snow White whistling while they work. This is my favourite song of, I think, the whole movie. Such a classic.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's home from work we go.
There must be some big ballers, these dwarves, like, because look how many gems there are. Oh, look at Dopey. Dopey's my favourite. It's not a good vault. Putting all your gems in there. Gosh. How is he going to leave the key there? I guess that's what happens when you live in a crime-free neighbourhood. They didn't really skimp out on the animation in this movie. It really went for it. They did the backgrounds, the camera movement, they got the flowing waterfalls, they got multiple characters, sweeping motions, all that kind of stuff. Like, they really did well. And this is 1937.
Oh.
I'm not hating on Snow White, but she is entitled. She thinks that she's got the run of everywhere. She's just fine to come and take a nap on someone's bed. I'll hear the dwarves come back. Like, if this was real life, she'd be dead. These animals are not friends at the time of trouble. Funny how scared they are when there's 7 of them, 7 grown men. But to their credit, you don't know who's in there, and they live in an enchanted place. It's good to be cautious.
Mark my words, there's trouble a brewing.
Count how many times in this film Grumpy says, "I'm warning you," or he grunts, or he says, "Mark my words."
The sound effects with the creaky shoes, and then the music as well. How's Dopey gonna blame the door? You have to take it.
Chair's been dusted. Our cobwebs are missing.
He said it like he misses the cobwebs.
There's dirty work afoot.
He's got the best voice.
Smells good. Don't touch Watch it, you fools. Might be poison.
Might be poison. Yeah, I wouldn't just eat whatever someone's made in my house.
Don't do it. Take him away. By dose. By hay fever.
They used the character of Sneezy to do a few extra gags in the animation.
Look at the way they tied up his nose.
One of us.
They're so horrible at it. Why are they looking at Dopey? That's not nice.
Don't be nervous.
Look at him, he's shaking and he wants to give him the torch. Look at him, go up yourself, rude boy. Oh yeah, but you wouldn't go up yourself, would you? Look at them. There's always someone pushing someone to do something they don't want to do. Cowardice. I have to rate Dopey because at least he did it. Even though they pushed him, they tricked him into it. But everyone likes to take the mick out of Dopey. Love him. Look at them, they're off. Look at them. Oh, that's a nice piece of animation there. They're just like... Nah, Dopey, these guys, they don't have your back. They don't have your best interest at heart.
Let's kill it before it wakes up.
They would have murdered her. Well, I guess they stepped up to the plate in the end, after all their cowardice. Not saying that I would be any braver. Imagine they didn't take the cover off. And imagine if it was a man, they would have just went to town.
It's a girl.
That's a classic line. It's a girl. Look at them, they're all lusting after her. Oh, shame.
And all females is poison.
He's not getting deceived by his eyes.
The children.
She feels violated. She's like, oh wait, these men are looking at me.
Little men.
Oh, and now you're alright with it, are you, Snow White? Because they're little men.
Ask her who she is and what she's doing here.
Where's your ID? Show me your ID. He's not wrong. Grumpy is not wrong.
I'm warning you. If the queen finds her here, she'll swoop down and wreak her vengeance on us.
Look at him telling campfire stories.
I'll wash and sew and sweep and cook.
Cook!
Bribing them with food, you know. That's the way to a man's heart. Food.
We'll just have time to wash.
Wash?
They don't know about washing their hands. Gosh, that's just common decency.
Knew there's a catch to it.
Perhaps you have washed.
Yes. Perhaps we have.
He's so happy about perhaps they have. Last month, last year. Dirty boys.
Yes. Recently.
You're dirty, you're a filthy animal. Hygiene. That's what the film is teaching us. Some people still don't wash their hands. They could just knock her over if they wanted to.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Oh, did you hurt yourself?
Snow White is a little wind up. Did you hurt yourself, you know?
Women.
That's right, you tell her women.
Don't be nervous.
What, you've never washed your hands before? I think that's what secretly they're trying to tell kids to wash their hands.
Her wiles are beginning to work. But I'm warning you. You give them an inch, and they'll walk all over you.
Step up to the tub. Oh, ain't no disgrace. Just pull up your sleeves and get them in place. Then scoop up the water and rub it on your face and go.
See, I like the way the music goes with the instructions.
Next thing you know, she'll be tying your ears up in pink ribbons and smelling you up with that stuff called, perfume. I'd like to see anybody make me wash if it isn't water.
You tell him, Grumpy, you're a man. It's beef. Look. They're gonna force him to wash. Get him! I want to be dirty.
Get the soap.
Oh, Dopey. Look at him having his own war with the soap, and the soap is outsmarting him. No, they're violating Grumpy. They're violating him on a different level. It's not right. No, what a mockery.
Supper, food,
Magic mirror on the wall. Who now is the fairest one of all?
Snow White still lives, the fairest in the land.
Such a snake, he could have lied, but no, he had to tell the truth. Look, she's furious. Whenever you see a dark castle or dark rats in a cartoon, it's just a sign of evil every time. Look at this evil bird. Look at the way they animate it, he's so evil. Black arts, dark magic, witchcraft, black magic. We weren't actually allowed to watch these movies as kids. Our parents would never allow it. Oh, this is demonic.
Hags cackle. A a scream of fright. A thunderbolt to mix it well. Now begin thy magic spell.
This is the most evil concoction I've ever seen. She becomes the most hideous monster of all time.
King Death.
The pimple, even the bird is terrified. That voice, I wonder if it was the same woman who did the voice, but it's so evil.
The actress that plays the evil queen was Lucille Laverne. She was told by the animators to try and do a raspier version of the queen's voice for the old witch, like when she transformed. So she went out, then she come back in, and then they said it was a perfect old hag's voice, that old like cackle. Like, I just asked her like, how did you do it? And she said, oh, I just took all my teeth out. This was Lucille's last film.
The sleeping dead.
The doors are turning up. It's lit. Yeah, get that dancing in dark. Yeah, give it to them. Dopey has got skills as well. I relate to Bashful as well, being shy and stuff. It's hard. It's hard being in front of people. If this was the real world, you could bet your life that they were drinking this night. Imagine Snow White had married one of the dwarves, like, all be stressed. They're friend zone, all the dwarves are in the friend zone. One of the dwarves would be the ex-boyfriend. Funny, Dopey's the one who has the bright idea. But who's doing all the work? It's easy doing all the work.
Tell us a story.
Yes, tell us a story. A true story.
A love story.
Everyone likes a story, don't they?
Once there was a princess,
Was the princess you?
and she fell in love.
How is she already head over heels for this guy? You gotta be harder than that.
Someday my prince will come.
This is another classic song. Look at them. They're all under a spell. Except Grumpy. He's the only one with sense.
The princess will sleep in our beds upstairs.
There's always someone like that who has to be so hospitable. I'm with Grumpy on this.
If you want to offer up your bed, that's fine, but don't offer up mine and everybody else's without asking me first, just to seem hospitable.
Look at Dopey, he's not such a dope after all. Seeing the cushion, he's like, I'm getting that one first. Someone always wants you to be the chivalrous one. Why? This is 1930s, you could just tell. That's not fair. Dopey had the pillow first. Aww. And then no one gets nothing. Selfish. Dopey, he's content with the little he has. Aww.
Wow, she actually prayed. I don't think you'd see that in a cartoon these days.
Oh, yes. And please make Grumpy like me.
Women.
Grumpy, you savage. Snow White, she just wants to be friends. See how they don't miss a moment, the apple showing the symbol of death.
The bird is still scared.
Turn red to tempt Snow White. Have a bite? It's not for you. It's for Snow White.
Most classic line of the movie. It's so ingrained in our culture, the red apple. As soon as you see a red apple, you remember this. It's too red. It's so evil. If you saw this woman in real life, you'd be running for the hills.
She'll be buried alive.
When the evil queen is giving one of her evil speeches, they make sure she looks into the camera and they zoom in, and then the music emphasizes what she's doing and saying. So it's like almost to scare the little kids in the cinema, almost like, I'm gonna get you. Not every time, but they do it quite a lot in this movie. She's looking right at you, and I can imagine on the big screen that must have been pretty scary.
Look at her in that underground dungeon growing out. Oh, man, they do well creating evil villains, Disney. I have to give it to them. And this is how her soul looks inside. This lady, even though she might be beautiful, this is how her soul looks.
Don't worry. I'll be all right.
Snow White, you can't be out here flirting.
They all want a kiss. He wanted one on the lips for the first one. Dopey, he's a bad boy. Dopey is trying to get two. He's a bad boy.
But that's the last.
Look at him acting like he doesn't want to kiss. That's assault. Oh, he's got a heart, Grumpy. Grumpy, can't catch a break. pure evil walks. Look at these evil birds, evil birds. I have to give it to Snow White. She's got the culinary arts on lock. She's trying to butter up Grumpy. Now I'm shutting the window if I see her straight. I would never eat anything from her. Snow White, she's too innocent.
Those birds are so evil. They're not on anyone's side. They're just waiting for evil things to happen. And they don't care who it happens to, but as long as it happens, they're just delighting in the evil things. Get her, get her, get her!
Let me rest. A drink of water.
No, no, don't let her in, don't let her in.
Look at that grin, evil. I put so much character in this animation. Look how so evil. Look, the animation there is so good, so evil. Look at her gestures.
One bite, and all your dreams will come true.
Oh,
Look at the Queen, the way she's just like, come on, go faster, faster. And she's just rubbing her hands together. The way they're animated.
Blood congeal.
They put real human characteristics in it. Listen to the evil laugh, the cackle, the shrill. You know how evil a villain is, especially in a cartoon, by their laugh. If they don't have a really good evil laugh, then you don't really buy it as much. But this evil queen, she was the first, I feel, to bring that to the big screen. In this scene where they're chasing the queen up, I feel like they wanted this to be the big action climax scene. So you see all the characters, they've got loads of characters, a high-speed chase, lightning, running up a cliff. They had a brainstorming session with all the animators and it was like, oh, do this and do that and do this and do that. And Disney was probably just like, yeah, let's do it all. Let's just do it all. And they chase her to the edge of the cliff and everything is building. It's like an opera or musical. Just the final scene where everything is coming out. You know, where they pull all the tricks out of the bag. This is a great scene. All the best of the film roll into one for the final climactic hero scene. All the dwarves are like knights on horses running up the cliff. Incredible, really. Go on, get her, get her! Victory is ours!
Snow White's funeral. Even the candle is crying. Look.
Oh, they're all crying. Even Grumpy is crying. Like, this must have been a sad watch for the first time in the cinema.
How did they preserve the body for so long? Well, I guess it's magic, isn't it? Question is, would you kiss a corpse?
Oh, pick me! Yes, I'll take the job of kissing that corpse. Necrophilia!
Oh, she's alive! She's alive! And Snow White, she gets her wish. And they live happily ever after. The dwarves are happy. It's a party. To be honest, I thought this happened earlier in the film, but it doesn't. What, and she's just gonna go off with him like that? Mate. I don't even get to talk anything over.
You barely know this man, Snow White. He could be anyone. You haven't even met his parents or his siblings or nothing, and you're just going off with this man. You've got to have a deeper conversation with him or get to know him a bit better. You can't just give yourself to the first prince that you see. Gosh. But to be fair, on IMDb they said that the prince would have been in the movie more, but they couldn't work out the animation to do him realistically. It worked out okay, didn't it? That's my first one in the Disney series. 1 down, 31 more to go. I got Dumbo, Pinocchio, Bambi, Cinderella, and lots more. If you haven't seen Snow White, you should check it out, really. Even if you have seen it, like, you should check out like the surrounding history about the film. It's so interesting, like different things like you wouldn't even believe some of the stuff I've read to trying to find out things about this film. But I couldn't say them all, but if you go and look, it's really interesting. It was a birth of animated feature films. It's one to watch. I think that's it.